What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Season Gaming Bitcast. It is 2020, and we are back after a short hiatus here. You've got Dan, you've got myself, and Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, man.
Everything good?
No. No, it's fine. 2020?
Big year for games.
Ready.
Really big year.
Ready.
Probably the biggest ever. I was thinking about it. When's the last time we had two major consoles and this level of games that we're looking forward to?
I have no idea.
Okay.
Never. I mean, it's. I thought last year was good. I thought the year before that was good.
2018 was amazing.
Yeah. And
2017 too.
Gosh. Now we got two new consoles.
Cyberpunk.
Last of Us
Halo.
2.
Hey, don't you start. We just came back.
It's Halo. I'll play. But yeah, man, it's gonna be awesome, man. It's gonna be. Yeah, I mean, if anybody can find something to complain about in this time,
you're listening to the wrong podcast.
Wrong show. Yeah.
So, wow, we've got a lot to talk about. Not a whole lot of news this week, but just a lot of things to discuss and cover, and we'll talk about what's been going on. So, first things first, a little house cleaning. So, kind of a sad announcement here is that you might notice Bert is not on the episode today, and he is going to be stepping away for a little bit. So you're obviously used to listening to the three of us. Going forward, at least in the short term, it's going to be Dan and I as a duo with guests intermittently. So Bert's just got a lot going on outside of, obviously, the stuff we do with the gaming industry, and so obviously wish him the best and hope we see him back sometime in the future.
I will definitely miss the little guy.
We're gonna miss our little wet poncho.
we're gonna miss the wet blanket. I love you, Bert. I hope everything works out great. Yes, the show must go on, but at the same time, it hurts.
It's weird. Yeah, it's definitely be weird for me because we started this just him and I. And so ever since the beginning with the Bitcast episode 0 that we never published because it's so bad.
I've seen some
It is
parts.
so
it's
bad.
Awesome.
It's actually so good. It's hilarious.
Yeah, it's bad.
But anyway, yes, so it's going to be a little bit different, but, we are not changing anything in the sense of what we cover. We're still going to be giving you the news. We're still going to be talking about the business side and the business side of the industry, technical side of consoles, games, platforms, etc. Hope to give you something there that other podcasts don't. So we'll be continuing with that and hopefully have some fun guests along the way as well.
Yep.
In terms of, format, nothing will change in the format, but like I said, Name That Game. So if you've come to Name That Game, I know some of our listeners enjoy that as we did too, but that seems a little pointless with just two people.
Yeah.
Dan and I aren't going to look at each other and do Name That Game. So we'll be adding some new segments here and there to mix it up a little bit, like I said. In terms of 2020, as we just said, this is the biggest year for gaming potentially ever. We've got the Series X, we've got PlayStation 5, we've got major titles, and so a lot of upcoming coverage. You're going to see more articles more frequently on Season Gaming in addition to the news, but articles, you're going to see more videos on the content that's coming this year, and already making big plans for E3, believe it or not, already locking down some stays and places and everything else that goes along with E3. So should be a lot of fun. So thanks for tuning in as always. So,
yep.
I figured we would start with we're going to be doing some weekly polls. So if you follow Season Gaming, follow me on Twitter. We're going to be doing a weekly poll that we'll probably discuss on the Bitcast every week. And one of the big ones we did recently was actually just before the holiday. As the news of Series X came out, the Video Game Awards, and we've learned more about the PlayStation 5 since then. The big question was, does power matter to you in next gen? So, is power a key factor in you deciding either which console to buy or where you'll play more often? And I think we've been really clear that for as long as we've been here that, yes, power matters, but it's not going to stop us from buying or playing anything.
No, absolutely not.
Yeah, so I mean, I think everyone who listens here knows that we're going to buy everything, talk about everything, play everything. But the poll results were interesting. So we got nearly 5,000 votes on this, which was pretty large. And 54% said power does matter, yes. 27% said no, it doesn't, more about the games. And then 18% said it doesn't matter at all because they're buying everything anyway, like us. So I wish that number was actually higher, but I get it. Shit's expensive.
Yeah, well, here's the thing with this whole power crap. I don't care. I never really have. I've always just been kind of locked into an ecosystem based on where I've played, right? So I started with an Xbox. I went to the 360. I started getting into digital games. That's where my library is. Yeah. Well, now I get to take it with me.
It's
to
true.
all the new stuff.
You have the advantage.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. So, I mean, that's for me, that's always been kind of the deciding factor on what, if I were to buy one console. So let's say, for the sake of argument, we're only getting one. That's what I would get, only because I've got 700 games
Sure.
sitting there.
I think that's a bigger factor than it's ever been for sure.
Oh yeah,
unequivocally.
And you know, with the backwards compatibility, with just being able to bring that with you. I don't want to jump over somewhere else and then it's like, well, I still have all these. I guess I can go back and play them on my old console, but
nobody wants to do that.
Nobody wants to do that.
You want to hook up the new one and move on.
Right, and I think these two, when they come out, I think it's going to be pretty. They're going to be pretty similar. I don't think there's going to be that vast difference, but I don't know the final specs and everything for at least the PS5. It seems like the Series X stuff has already been pretty much out there, but if I don't understand tech like you do, so the way you've explained to me is how the way the software, I guess, on the software side of it works, and the way they're able to implement the I don't know, the codes. I don't know what it is. Basically, that they're going to make it work differently, or they have a different kind of the new AMD processor is what you were talking about.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. I don't think it's going to be that big of a difference. I think it's going to come down to maybe a little bit faster load times, maybe one way or the other. Graphically, they're probably both going to hit 4K 60. Right?
Yeah, I think the key is, you can tell me if you disagree, but I think the key is for hardcore people that want the best experience.
Right.
It seems like the Series X, very similar to the Xbox One X versus the Pro, right? If you're definitively looking like, you don't care where you play, you just want the best looking console version.
Right.
Looks like the Series X may do that. But to the majority of people in the market that buy these consoles, right? Mm-hmm. The difference in pixel counts, like we saw with the Xbox One X, the pixel counts, texture resolutions, all those things that extra power will get you probably won't make a large market difference.
It won't at all. I mean, the people out there that are sitting there with the PS4 right now, and they're going to be able to take those games over to the PS5. That there'd be no reason not to,
right.
and it's and I would be the same way, if I were just buying one, I would miss out on certain exclusives for the Xbox, but it is what it is, and that's what it's all about, right? And vice versa, right? Yeah. So, where's Nintendo? That's right. No, I mean, yeah.
Well, we have a rumor about that. We'll talk about.
Yeah, I'm going to play both. I'm going to have both. I can't not have access to a Forza game or a potential Fable game.
Halo, I think, is what you meant.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, and we're gonna get back into this Halo thing over and over again.
Yes, we are.
I like Halo. I don't dislike Halo.
We'll work on them, folks.
Yeah, but I want to be able to play as many of those single player experiences as I can. And in order to do that, you probably have to have both. Now, I'm interested to see how it's going to shake down in pricing.
Yep.
That's going to be another big factor, I think. You see rumors that maybe the PS4 will be $100. PS5, sorry, will be $100 less than maybe the Series X. That's just things I've just seen out in the.
It's possible.
That's gonna be huge. And
that's where the whole Lockhart conversation gets interesting.
Yeah, and then and it's just I don't know, man. I mean, I don't like dabbling in the console war stuff. Since, but it's just it's gonna be out there, and you're gonna see a lot of it. Prepare yourself. Yeah.
I'm right in the middle of it.
Not me.
I think, the thing I enjoy, and fortunately the audience, we were just talking about this before we started recording, but fortunately the audience that listens to this and follows Season Gaming is seemingly, I don't want to throw anyone under the bus here, but seemingly more mature and can have a conversation about tech and specs and all these things without devolving into the whole, this is better than this conversation.
Right.
So anyway, but yeah, there's a lot of conversation out there. Given what I know of the Series X and what I know of PS5, there is definitely an advantage to the Series X in terms of power. But to your point, the conversation now is, okay, does that mean the Series X is going to be 500 and the PS5 may be 400? Mm-hmm. Because that would be a big difference, right? We saw that in last gen. And if Lockhart comes in, what's Lockhart then going to come in at? 350,
Right.
300 without a disk drive, maybe.
Yeah.
And then where does that leave? Like, you've still got your Xbox One X out there, 350 and 400 today too. So you've
Right.
got to figure out what that looks like and how you navigate that market and confusion. Really interesting. I think there's a lot more to come. Not a lot more to add right now. I mean, while we're talking about this, it's probably worth mentioning as you're listening to this that CES is going on.
Oh yeah.
And as we're recording this on Sunday, CES keynotes from AMD and Sony are tomorrow.
Nice.
Tomorrow evening. Now, there's a lot of speculation. Nobody knows, but we may hear about the PS5 at Sony's. And, I believe and others believe that we're going to hear about the technology in the Series X at AMD's keynote. Potentially the PS5 as well. So there's a good potential that as you're listening to this, we know more than we do at this moment. So maybe we'll talk about that next week.
Yep, and we're going to need new TVs also.
Yeah, we were already talking about that last week.
Yeah.
So I was looking
add that to your, cha-ching.
Yeah, I was looking at the 2020 77-inch OLED yesterday, for $6,000, and
dear Lord, is it that high?
it's that high. Yeah,
Jeez.
yeah. HDMI 2.1, supports 120 frames, variable refresh rate, all that stuff. So I don't know. I'm just excited, man. I love tech. I love advancements. I love thinking about what our favorite games are going to look and run like in next gen. That's it.
Be gross.
Yeah, again, on both.
Mm-hmm.
So, all right. And then we'll move on from that. We did another poll, which was honestly just for fun. I asked people in 2020, you will continue to buy only what you'll play, buy way too many games. I know where you are.
Yeah.
And then the third choice was don't judge me.
Yeah. Somewhere right in the middle of the last two.
Not so shockingly, don't judge me one with 43%.
It's funny though. Those last two, there has been nothing for like the last month or
No.
I don't think I bought a game.
I haven't bought a game since
like Jedi maybe.
end of November, I think.
Yeah, that was like the last
kind of
one
Black Friday.
Yeah, and you know what I picked up? I'll explain more of this later. But I picked up Red Dead 2 for the PS4 because I'm stupid. No, here's why I bought it. Because I figured, well, you know what? I want to try out some of the single player stuff. I could have waited a week, but it was on sale, the Ultimate Edition, for like $40. And I had like $50 worth of PSN credit. I've got everything else pre-ordered. So I was like, I'm ready to go. Let me just throw it on here. So I figured I'd try it out on the PS4. Aside from it sounding like a jet engine every time, it's my biggest concern with that damn thing. It plays pretty damn similar. So
It'll play similar.
yeah. I mean, well, it looks pretty much the same to me, but it's got photo mode. So guess what I've been doing?
Yeah.
Photoing my face off like crazy.
Photo mode's coming.
I understand that, but I wanted a fresh start.
So you just figured you'd play it on another platform.
I'm really hoping it comes to the Switch next, so I can buy it on there too.
That's a rumor that clicked off last week, though. But I don't. If Witcher 3 wasn't on the Switch, I would say no way in hell. But now I'm confused.
I have it on the Switch.
I don't know how CDPR did that.
No, it looks pretty good.
Yeah, it's bizarre.
Yeah, it's nuts.
But Rockstar Wizards too.
Yeah.
So if a company can do it, I'm sure they can.
Do it.
All right. So yeah, 28%. Only 28% said they're gonna only buy what they'll play.
Yeah.
Basically, everyone else admitted they're going to play way too many, buy way too many games.
I mean, I don't know how you can't. Yeah, I mean, especially with like all the launch titles that'll be out there, it's just going to be nuts.
Yeah.
And we don't even know what's coming.
No, that's the crazy thing is
Yeah.
we put together a list of the 2020 games coming, and it's monstrous already.
Mm-hmm.
And yet, there's probably another however many that are unannounced yet.
E3
Never mind all the launch lineups.
Crazy.
Yeah, I can't wait. All right, so we got a little bit of news to talk about. A couple big things. The biggest really is that Vince Zampella. This was really interesting news. So Vince Zampella, if the name doesn't ring a bell, he's CEO of Respawn. Obviously got famous for Infinity Ward with Modern Warfare 1 and 2 way back in the day. Titanfall 1, 2, and now Jedi Fallen Order. He is going to be taking over as the head of DICE LA. So DICE is the studio you're most familiar with that does Battlefield. Now, the Battlefield franchise is primarily done by DICE Stockholm in Sweden. DICE LA is more of a supplemental studio. They were a studio that helped with work on a bunch of other games in a secondary function. But EA has assigned Zampella as head of Dice LA. They're actually going to be switching their name. They will no longer be Dice. And they've already announced that they have a new IP that they're working on.
Jeez,
so he is going to head that up, kind of lead that effort, I guess, bring them up. And then Respawn is going to continue doing what they're doing. And 3 members of Respawn got promoted, while Vince will kind of oversee Respawn still. But these other 3 members of Respawn will basically take the reins.
That's crazy.
So,
man.
pretty good news, because everything Vince touches has been damn good.
Yeah, I can't even argue with that one. I'd like him to touch Battlefield. And maybe,
can you give him Dice Stockholm?
Yeah, can you guys just like switch that around a little bit? You know, just give him just let him just come over and look at stuff for a little while. And just,
Be like, what's that? Yeah, fix that.
The creepy guy in the background. Just let him do what he's going to do. But yeah, I mean, this is good news for him. I mean, that's great. I really, like I said, I wish he was working on Battlefield, but I'm also excited to see what he can do with the new IP.
Okay, they did a hell of a job with Star Wars.
Yeah, Titanfall was great. You know, I mean, hopefully he's got the magic touch.
Yeah, we
And,
see.
you know, just keeps EA in check. Say, hey.
We need more men like him.
Yeah. I'll get you what you want. Just shut up.
Yeah, I'd love to see, to have some insight into what those contract details look like. You know, that stuff's got to be fascinating, I'm sure.
Craziness.
So another one that hit this week, which was a big surprise, is Grand Theft Auto 5, just out of nowhere, landed on Game Pass. This was not talked about in their XO presentation. It was not on any list. It just suddenly, the Xbox Game Pass Twitter account said, oh, by the way, here's Grand Theft Auto 5.
That's crazy.
Which is nuts when you think about it. I realize, of course, it goes without saying Grand Theft Auto 5 is a 6-year-old game. It's been out for a long time. Everyone owns 9 copies of it. But still, this is, regardless of how you look at it, this is a big pickup, especially when Grand Theft Auto 5 is still continuing to be one of the most played games in the world. And I believe it was either Benji or Matt Piscatella, Benji Sales or Matt Piscatella, that said that Grand Theft Auto 5 is the best-selling game on the Xbox One and the PS4.
Oh, yeah.
The entire generation.
It doesn't surprise me one bit.
So
it's always number one.
And remember, it's a last-gen game.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So
for sure. So, yeah, it was on PS Now, I think, right before it jumped on the Game Pass.
It was.
So
it expired.
And then,
Yep.
That makes sense. I mean, if you don't own it, which I'm guessing everybody that watches
I own 2 copies of it.
Yeah, I also own 2 copies of it. I probably have it on, actually, gosh, I own it on 3 different. No, it's the 360, the Xbox, and the PS4.
So I have it on 360. I bought it for the Xbox One when it got the upgrade.
Yeah, so did I.
It's literally still sealed. I've never opened it.
Really?
Yeah.
No, that's dumb.
Really? Where are we going there?
I don't have anything sealed because all mine, I break the digital cherry.
Yeah, you click the button.
That's right.
But now I don't even have to break the disc out.
That's right.
So
also craziness.
So we'll jump back over to the PlayStation 5. So if you've been paying close attention to this, beyond the tech specs of the console, we've been seeing patents leak for the new DualShock controller, which again, they still have not called the DualShock 5, even though we know that's what it's going to be called. And this latest patent, the previous one showed that the handles are going to be a little longer, the thumbsticks are going to be a little deeper, a little longer triggers, all things that sound good in theory. This new one shows 2 rear buttons on the center of the controller, similar to like what we saw in the old Nacon, the Scuf, some of the aftermarket third-party controllers.
Yep.
So it would be pretty neat in theory to have a standard controller that comes with the console that has the functionality of having some of those kind of paddle or touch buttons on the back.
Yeah, they look a lot like the Astro ones.
They do. That's right. Yeah, the Astro.
That's the one they really reminded me of, and that's awesome because I always use my paddles on my Elite. I always use. It's for the basic thing, so if I have to press left on my D-pad, I just do this, and that's huge for me for some reason,
for some reason.
For like anything, I mean, depending on the game, a lot of times that's, switching your weapons or opening a menu, and it's just, I haven't used my left and right on my D-pad forever, on anything, so I got the Nacon and the Elite. Okay. So this is perfect for me, so bring it on.
Bring it on.
Bring it on! It's 2020. Thank you, PS5.
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah.
So the interesting thing is they introduced that kind of butt back thing, for the PS4 controller. That little module where you can program the controller. So I wonder if that'll be continued to have that.
Is that out yet?
I think it releases this month.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but it'd be kind of crazy if you can fit that in the PS5 controller, DualShock 5, with the buttons. It's going to get that'll be interesting. So. One big rumor to talk about, and this is one we've talked about previously. We've been wrong about, admittedly, as I think most outlets have. Right, is a Switch Pro, for lack of a better word, is hopefully coming this year. So the latest is driven by a gentleman named Doctor. This is an interesting name, Serkan Toto of Kantan Games. Kantan Games? Kantan?
Sure.
Yeah, sure. Let's go with it. But this is a Japanese consultancy firm, and one of the sites is linked on Season Gaming. Basically goes out to some of these leaders in the industry and talks to them about their expectations for the upcoming year. And one of the things that was brought up by him is, he fully expects a updated Switch this year, with increased RAM and screen resolution, et cetera, all the things that all of us have talked about us wanting. So this has kind of reignited the rumor mill, if you will, for a Switch Pro, which, by the way, I posted last week and said I hope that if the Switch Pro comes, which I think most of us do, that they bring back the whole Super prefix, and I'd love to see like the Nintendo Super Switch.
Nice.
Just bring it back. Let's do it.
Listen, I own two already. I got the light, and I got the regular Switch. Well, yeah, I mean, I guess there's three of them in my house, but two of them are mine. But I'm not sure why they couldn't just do this before. I think this has probably been worked on for quite some time.
It takes time.
Yeah,
especially because the biggest issue with the Switch, right, and they use that mobile Tegra CPU.
Yep.
And it's old and dated and weak. It's old and dated and weak.
All right.
But they have to do that, right? Because think of the heating between the screen and the actual CPU, GPU, everything that's got to fit in that mobile Switch, right? It generates heat.
Yeah.
And dissipating that heat is a key concern. So the engineering that goes into it is pretty intense.
Mm-hmm.
So trying to figure out how they can kind of bring the Switch up to what we would call more modern standards with more RAM and a bigger CPU or faster CPU, better GPU, a higher resolution screen, but still keep the form factor and make sure it doesn't melt.
Right.
It's got to be a big challenge.
Oh, it'll melt. That's what I'm guessing. It'll probably release it, and it'll be like it'll be just like the joysticks.
Your Joy-Cons drift, and now your screen melts.
Yep, that's gonna be awesome. No, I'll buy it. I'm sure. I will trade in or sell my other Switch and then get this one.
I would upgrade right away.
Yeah, I just want a better resolution screen. But 720 for the games that are on there isn't bad. But hey, 1080p with The Witcher.
Do 1080.
Yeah. Do that.
And then obviously you'd be able to run higher textures and whatnot too.
And
right?
The battery would last more than 15 minutes. So that's the big thing.
We think.
Maybe.
More power, again, requires bigger battery engineering. So
eventually the Switch is going to be this thing around with like a strap that goes around your neck.
It's like a laptop.
It's portable though, guys. No. Nope.
I actually want a bigger screen. Just slightly. Don't need it huge. It's like, what, 7 point... There's some phones that are nearly as big as the Switch now. Like, I'd like it to be a little bit bigger. But
that's fine. We all like to be a little bit bigger. So.
Just an inch.
Some more than others.
All right, so we did get a question posed to us. This actually came in like 2 weeks ago, but we didn't have Bitcast last week. And I think I know your answer, but I figured the hell we talk about it anyway.
It's not Halo.
Because it's actually harder to answer than, as I thought about this, right? If I really thought about it. If you had to only buy one game in 2020, you could literally only buy one and play one for eternity or for ongoing, what would that be?
Yeah, Cyberpunk.
Yeah, I figured yours was Cyberpunk.
It's 100% because, and now that includes, I'm assuming, the multiplayer eventually when it comes out. But yeah, I mean, I'm literally replaying The Witcher 3 right now, so there was zero doubt that I will ever, I could play. You're just talking for all of 2020.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Sure. Yeah, for sure it'd be Cyberpunk. Now it would suck because I'd miss out on The Last of Us, which is one of the big ones. Probably the other one that I would have chose. But I don't think it's going to have as much.
Won't have the replay.
No, it won't have the choices. I mean, it might have some choice. I don't know what it's going to be. But it's just such a story based. It's such a linear story, like the first one was. I mean, I'm assuming that's going to be the same way. So unless they come out and announce some weird stuff, like it's going to be open world.
No, there's no way.
Yeah, right. So yeah, it's Cyberpunk, 100%.
Okay, I figured yours would be. So as I thought about it, I think, we've talked about Cyberpunk is king this year. Mm-hmm. Last of Us 2 is, as you said, probably right there with it. My biggest problem for me is there's no way in hell I could live in a world where I ignore Halo.
Yeah, but you only get it for like a month.
No. Like it would be you only buy one of the titles that releases in 2020.
Oh, okay.
You'd play it forever.
So right. Okay. So that's. Oh, I see. So
You know what I mean?
So I would never be able to play The Last of Us 2, is what you're saying? Well, that blows. Who asked this question?
So, who was it? I'm supposed to write that down so I can give the shout out, and I forgot to. So sorry about that.
Shout out to this guy.
Shout out to man on Twitter. But for me, the more I thought about it, I was like, yeah, Cyberpunk, I'll put 200, hundreds of hours into, right? Last of Us 2, well, I'll probably only put 40, 50 hours if I play. I'll probably play it multiple times, but it's a dedicated experience that I'm sure I'll never forget, and I'm crazy excited for. But for me to turn away Halo is impossible. I just can't, because the campaign will be huge for me. I'm a Master Chief fanatic, but the multiplayer, man, I will put hundreds and hundreds. I have 600 hours in Halo 5.
See, that's going to be the biggest.
Yeah. There's no way I could say I'm gonna not play Halo, because of the multiplayer component.
Right. It's just too much of a value if you're going for that route.
Yeah, and multiplayer is huge to me.
Right, and for me, I'm still interested to see what the multiplayer component is going to be for Cyberpunk, but not that it'll matter. But then again, I said that about Red Dead Online too, so yeah.
We know where that is.
Yeah, we know where that is, level 103 or something.
So anyway, let us know. If you had to pick one game, what would that be in 2020? Because it's a harder question to answer than you think. And I know other people are in a game completely outside of those three, right? I'm sure some people would say Final Fantasy VII.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that one.
You've got other bigs come. If Breath of the Wild 2 comes, I'm sure that would be tops for some people.
Damn. There's so much that you don't know about.
Yeah. New Assassin's Creed.
Damn it.
Ragnarok, which sounds awesome. All right, so let's talk about what we're currently playing, because you brought up Red Dead, we brought up Witcher, and I think you covered everything I've been playing.
Yeah, me too.
So I know we talked before about Red Dead Online, and Dan got into it, got me into it, and I've been playing that every damn day. In fact, just this morning, no joke, I hit my 32-day daily streak of doing stuff.
My 28 is today.
Oh, nice.
Get home and take
you better
care
do
of
it. Don't forget.
Yep. Damn it.
So Red Dead Online has been amazing. The no animal glitch is frustrating as all hell.
Gosh,
and I hope they fix it.
Funny enough, I complained to Rockstar about when I emailed them because they're listen. Speaking of horrible support experiences.
Okay.
All right. Rockstar is crap. I mean, as far as that kind of stuff goes,
they don't have enough money to support.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
They don't have enough money to, all their guys are, developing games, not actually working on, support for it. So I gave them the benefit of the doubt. I emailed them something on the 12th of December saying, hey, this Moonshine stuff is garbage because every time I load into it, it boots me to like a black screen of like infinite loading.
Really?
And it's what it did for me when I first started doing it, and it was over and over and over again. And I lost hundreds and hundreds of dollars.
I remember you saying that.
Just in trying to get it to work. And sometimes it would, sometimes it wouldn't, and it was just such a crapshoot. So they refunded me $500. Now that was
like RDO bucks.
Yeah.
Okay, in-game money.
In-game money.
Yeah.
So I was like, well, I probably put more than that in, but who cares? That's fine. And that was like 18, 19 days later when I actually got a response. And it's the holiday, so I kind of understand a little bit of that. I was like, this is garbage. But like my support message was, hey, I lost all this money. Then it was like, hey, can you acknowledge my existence? Like, the last one was worst support ever. Fuck you guys. Sorry about the language, but that's exactly what I wrote. And then they finally got back to me, 2 weeks later, and I was so mad. I'm getting more bitter in my old age. And they were like, and I said, well, I got you on the hook here. What the hell's going on with this animal thing?
Yeah.
Long story short.
They respond?
They finally, yesterday. Okay. So this was like a week after actually asking the second question. They're like, yeah, we know. We're aware of it. There's nothing we really can do right now, but we're working on it. I'm like, because I said this has been happening not only, just recently with the Moonshine update. If you do a little research, it's actually been happening since
months.
Months.
Yeah.
Months and months. And it seems like everybody has figured out the problem. It has to do with the amount of people on their server, on each server.
Supposedly like a memory thing, right?
But it's not happening on PC.
Okay.
So it's just happening on the console. So after you hit about 18 people,
That's what I
That's
felt.
it. It's just no animals spawn, and if you do, you get like one random one,
Yeah.
or it's a horse.
And it really impacts the play.
I mean, you have people that have put this, bought the trader
Yep.
thing for however many gold. Well, that basically relies on
Requires animals.
Yeah, you have to have it. So I know this is kind of long winded, but it just drives me crazy that it seems like if you just kind of limit put a cap on maybe, just for a temporary fix.
Yeah.
We're going to cap the server count at 17 people, and then we'll figure out what's going on.
Yeah.
Because if you really kind of dig deep into it, it kind of looks shady to me. It's like, yeah, we're not going to put the animals on there. You can pay real money probably to get all these other upgrades and stuff you want. You're not going to get the money from the game, but we just don't give a crap. It's just frustrating because if you look at GTA 5 and the amount of support it's gotten,
oh yeah,
it just seems like I am sure they have problems there too, but they're fixed within a few weeks, and just so much there. And I really want some more for Red Dead Online, and I'm late to the game and stuff, but
I think it's growing though. They said that the player count's going up.
Yeah, for sure, because the servers are full and there's no animals. I have zero doubt in that. Now there are ways around it. You just gotta get really lucky. I got solo queued up in the server for 8 hours one
that's
day.
crazy.
I was like, "This is fantastic." I didn't see a single person, and it looked like that scene out of was it Ace Ventura?
Ace Ventura, all the
it was
animals
like,
come out.
Come to me, my jungle friends. That's exactly what it was, and it was glorious. It was a glorious, glorious time.
I logged on the other day, and literally from my camp, when I loaded in on the hill right here, there were 3 buffalo, and I was like, I'm so excited.
Yeah, what are you going to do? Oh my God.
So yeah, I've been playing a lot of Red Dead Online. Despite this issue that we've just touched on, it is a blast.
It's super fun.
The world is incredible. There's a lot to do, a lot to find, and the thing I like is you can play it in many different ways. If you want to go fight stuff and bounty hunt, you can. If you want to do more like me, where you like exploring and collecting stuff, that's a path. Hunting animals is a path when they appear. And now you got the Moonshiner thing, which is kind of fun too.
Yeah, it's super fun. But you can make, and you can make really good in-game money, just doing those two, like the trader and when there's animals and the Moonshiner thing.
Or bounty hunting.
Yeah, or bounty hunting for that matter. I mean, if you get like into a swing where you're just like, okay, I'm gonna, supply my trader. I'm gonna, get my moonshine brewing, and then I'm gonna go bounty hunt while this stuff is going.
Yeah.
You just constantly be making money, which lets you. It doesn't really do much except for give you fancy new outfits and stuff, and different ways to upgrade your camp and all that stuff. It's just fun. It's kind of like just kind of detaching from normal life for a little bit.
Yeah, it's an escape.
Yeah, it's for sure an escape. And
I've loved it.
I thought I'd hate it. and
well, it's because you can play it almost like a single player component.
Right, yeah.
It's online, but you don't. I never do anything other than when we play together. I never do anything with anyone else.
No.
It's just another world.
Nope.
So, speaking of other worlds,
oh jeez,
move on to The Witcher. So I did finish. I know last Bitcast was a couple weeks ago, and I was on like episode 5 or 6 of the series. I did finish it, obviously. Really enjoyed it. I think I liked it a little better than you. You said you liked it, but not like adored it.
Yeah.
Is that right?
I would say that's right. Yeah.
One interesting thing. So this has led to a lot of people replaying Witcher. In fact, I don't know if you saw, but
100,000.
Yeah, it broke concurrent on Steam. More people playing The Witcher 3 now than at launch.
That includes the 2 of us.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah. I'm replaying it, so I started over on the complete edition because I've already done everything. Then I started over on New Game Plus on my normal save. Now I started brand new on the complete edition, which, as you know, is a separate game.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I'm already, I want to say level 10.
That's probably wrong about.
Okay, I've already done Bloody Baron, finished that whole thing. I'm in Novigrad now, meeting Triss.
Same. I'm a little bit past that, but that's
okay.
I just met Roche.
Oh, okay, I haven't met him yet. Yeah, I haven't gotten there, so you're a little past me. But one really, really cool thing, and I posted this on Twitter, was there's a mission right after you meet Triss where you have to go to this haunted house. Mm-hmm. And you're talking to the woman, and you meet up with her afterwards, and she does this like seance type thing, right? And if you can advance it right away. Right. But if you choose the white dialogue option and keep choosing it, you go through all these different history things. And one of the things Geralt talks about to her is when he first meets Ciri. And the way he described it is literally what happened in the Witcher Netflix series.
Really?
It's really, really cool.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, so I'll show you the link, but I recorded the clip and it was on Twitter.
I saw it, yeah.
He talks about her being in the woods and the people and the water didn't work, and then he met her coming out of the woods. It was really, really neat. And it just goes to show you the depth at which the lore in the game that CDPR really tackled, from the books. But man, it's a lot of fun. It's the GOAT. It's the greatest.
It is so good. I have it. That one I have on all 3 systems.
Okay.
So I started playing on the Xbox, started getting my playthrough on. Got to about that point, and then I was like, well, you know what? I'm gonna try this out on the Switch. I've got it. I like to lay down in my bed sometimes, so I started playing it, and it's. I was like shocked. I was like, I've never seen a game as good looking on the Switch.
On the Switch,
ever in my
yeah.
life. Now it's got a couple frame rate issues here and there, but
Expected.
It's for a game. It looks like it could have came out this year for the Switch. That's how good it looks.
Yeah.
I know it's not super high resolution, but really going back and playing it on the X, it's not it feels like it's a little bit oversaturated. And as far as like color and stuff goes, and it's the same way on the I think it's just part of the game. Same way on the Switch.
It's the way it's designed. Yeah.
And it's just, but gosh, it's good.
Yeah, it's
so
really good.
Yeah,
and there's so much variation. Like I'm doing missions differently.
Right. Yeah, me too. I'm finding out that I missed a whole ton of stuff, and I did a lot of side missions, but just even the main missions,
Oh yeah, like the Bloody Baron, I did completely different, and I had a whole different fight scene. I had a whole different cut scene.
Yeah,
shit's going on in the city now that's different. It's really crazy.
I think we kind of flip flopped because I think when I went through it the first time, I got what you got. And then I went backwards, and I was like, "Oh crap, this is not what I expected." Because I don't remember this at all happening.
Because when I left the swamp, I left the crones alive.
Okay.
There's a mission you have to do for the crones.
Right.
Where you have to go to a tree.
Yeah.
Right? And basically, I'm trying not to... it's 5 years old now, but still, you can go 2 ways there. And when I first did it, and on New Game Plus, I killed the witches. Which you can do.
Right.
It's a big battle.
You killed the tree.
No.
No, you left the tree alive, but you killed the... Right. I did it completely opposite.
Okay. So this time, I killed the tree.
Last time I killed the tree.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that changes what happens with the Baron because you go back to the swamp because of the whole thing with him. And so, it's completely different. I was like, this is crazy.
It's awesome.
But anyway, we've said it a million times. If you haven't played Witcher, go play it, for God's sakes. It's on Game Pass now, too.
Yeah.
So, play it. The only thing I wish with the Switch was I would own it on the Switch and play it on Switch. I'm not playing multiple saves of.
That's my problem. Right
I want cross progression.
I'm right at the end of the prologue part, I guess, before
White Orchard.
Yeah. So I'm just like, gosh, do I stop on my Xbox? Or do I, just go straight to the Switch? And it's tough, man, because I like that's kind of my wind down game at the end of the night. So I don't know. You know what? I forgot I was playing.
Yeah.
Here's a funny little anecdote of my friend Greg.
Oh boy!
So I almost had a heart attack. We started playing Sniper Elite 4 it's on Game Pass.
Yeah.
So I actually bought it when it came out.
You can play it co-op.
Yeah. I just found it out. I was just like, because he's like, well, you ever want to play something different? Because we play Red Dead Online every once in a while.
Yeah.
I kind of looked up some stuff that was on Game Pass. I was like, oh, this is. He's expressed interest in this before.
Okay.
Well, playing through that game, it is called Sniper Elite 4, not run and gun your way to the end of the stupid level.
Fair.
Elite 4. And so I was like, here's the deal. My buddy, he's a good guy. He just has no patience. So I was like, play through the tutorial mission, find out how to do everything.
Yeah.
And then we'll go and co-op it and see how we can do. And even I had to go back and play through the co-op or through the single player just to get the tutorial down and remember how to do everything. It's been so long. So I did that. I was like, and he completely ignored what I said. I said, "Did you finish the first level?" "No, I'm good though." I'm like, "All right." Basically, it turned into a run and gun fest. I would basically, I guess this is how snipers work kind of in the real world, where like one person would mark them, and then the other person, then the other person does the firing. But that's not really how it's supposed to work, I don't think. Like I try to play the game as it's meant to be played.
As it's designed.
Right, and there was a point where I was starting to mark guys. I was like, we need to mark all these guys, all these enemies, so we have an idea of how to attack. Situation. There's these guys here. They've got certain paths they walk. let's just mark everybody first. He marks 0 people. I mark everybody else. Every time I mark somebody, he shoots them. And, not understanding that there's a guy standing 10 feet from him, watching him fall to the floor when he actually kills them. And I got to the point, I was like, I was in a bush, and I was like, I'm done. And I take my headset, I was like, I'll be back in a minute. And I took my headset off, and got a bowl of cereal. It was Waffle Crisp or Eggo Waffle something. It was delicious. And then I didn't talk to him for like 10 minutes. But he stayed on the chat, and I couldn't, he knew I was mad. And I came back. I put my headset down. I said, my cereal has hit the perfect consistency. I'll be back in a little bit. And that was all I said. And I came back, ate my cereal, which was delicious. And he comes, I come back on there. I was like, listen, if we're going to play this game, then we're going to do it the right way instead of you basically just robbing every single person. I'd gotten 0 XP because all you're doing here is just basically taking all my kills. I said, we can do this together. Okay. Not 2 minutes later, same thing happens. I'm like, I got to go. That's all I said. I don't know if I've talked to him since. Oh, boy. It's just, gosh, guys.
So it can be a good game.
It's
co-op.
I played, it could be, for sure.
Yeah.
The biggest thing is, I kind of had an advantage because I had bought the special edition pack, which came with like a silenced sniper rifle. So if you don't have that, I said, you know what, I'm not going to use a silenced sniper rifle so we can. This is kind of long-winded, but it's so we can be on the same page. So we can work on it together. Every time a plane flies over, that's when you're supposed to snipe because it masks the sound, and they can't tell where it's coming from. Never worked. Not one time. We got into one where I was like, there's like 20 guys over here. I said, we need to kind of sneak around, take them out very stealthily, and then get through this. And immediately it was like, I don't know.
Chaos.
It was chaos. It was just nuts, man. But that was my super fun story for the week. Sorry, it was a little long-winded, but
no, that sounds interesting. I have never played those games, so I've heard they're good, but I just
just go straight to 4.
Say it again.
Just go straight to 4.
Okay.
I mean, 3 was all right, but 4 really kind of puts that kind of stealthy, where you can kind of do it. It's meant for that.
Yeah.
And they do a really, really good job with it.
My thing is, I've literally only been playing Red Dead and Witcher, and they're such big games with so much time. Like it's just been fun, actually. So
yeah, I'm trying to play through 2 campaigns at one time.
Yeah, I couldn't do the campaign of Red Dead and Witcher 3. That's just asking way too much.
It's dumb. It's so dumb. Don't ever do that, people. Gosh.
God, I want to play Red Dead 2 again, though. Damn it.
I know it.
All right, moving on.
Boss.
Okay, so like I said, a little light on news this week, obviously with the holidays and just everyone getting ramped back up for the new year. Things will start to kick off again. I'm sure between CES and game news and everything that's about to happen, we'll have a lot more to talk about next week. So we'll get to that. For now, we're going to close this one out. So a reminder of CES, like I said, if you're listening to this early on Monday, it's still about to happen, but AMD's keynote is at 2 p.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. Eastern on Monday, and Sony's is just later that evening at 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern. So I hope we get some PS5 news or at least some insight. That'll be awesome, as well as I hope we get some stuff on Series X, of course. So we'll see. Things that are coming down the line here. So currently working on an article talking about Bloodborne 2. Don't let me get you too excited. There's no insider information I have of a sequel to Bloodborne. More of what I'd like to see and hope for in a Bloodborne 2. So working on that. Couple of upcoming videos as well, including a new product. I think Bert is actually still working on that video. New product, controller product, go figure. And something else I'm working on post CES about Series X and PlayStation 5. And then I believe you're going to be doing a review of Red Dead Online.
Yeah.
As well, like an actual review of it, where it's at, what players can expect if you're new.
I mean, this is about, over a year, right around a year.
Yeah, a little over now.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. I've hit level 10 something. So
that's a lot, dude.
for starting in the beginning of December or the end of November.
It's a lot of time.
It's a lot.
Because I've played quite a bit, and I'm at like a 34.
That's what happens when you have no job. So, unemployed for the win.
All right. As always, thanks for tuning in, guys. We will see you next week.